Hello and welcome back to the left side of reality. This is your host as always, Snow the First. Last time we did the last of the preparation for the Hokma for Suppression. And this time we do exactly that. As previously discussed, today's core suppression title is a Spanish phrase from a band called Café Tacuba. Volver a comenzar, meaning to begin again. I may elaborate more on how that is as the stream goes on, but for now, we have some agents to reassign. The 4 of extraction. Since they cannot be assigned to their home department, whereas the next areas where they will be the most useful. And it feels like throwing them all in the top might be the best play. You have a pretty good weapons. You might be better suited in disciplinary than who has what? Yeah, London might be better in disciplinary. An all-rounder Vov. Oh. Okay, the next best weapon out of our set is Lamp with Noah. Crap. And then after that, I guess for lack of better place to put you, we'll put you here. Is there any last second preparations that are worth doing before I hit the scary button at the top right? Okay, time to be as methodical as I am ever going to be. Let's ride. So Hokma, very simply, controls time. He is now a giant clock. And when I say he's in charge of time, he's in charge of all time. He will not let you fast forward on your own. And pausing is the last thing I don't want to do. So I'm going to try to keep my fingers away from the spacebar as much as is humanly possible. But first and foremost, we gotta figure out where everyone goes. Because everyone's gotta hit a chord. You down here for and then the rest of the people that are usually in extraction can do that. Wait, what am I doing? I already forgot that detail. Well, the good news is that there's no clerks down here either to kill. That reminds me, we gotta figure out what to do about clerks. Since we're in for the long haul, we need to work out how many we want to kill per cycle. Because we're already missing an entire department's worth. Okay, you go up here for King of Kingdom. Who wouldn't mind a hit from Skin Prophecy if it came down to it? A Spore Wielder, maybe. Since they have pretty high. Or maybe like another... Maybe Pansy. I want to pause so bad. Where did London go so that I can put her in front of the B? We'll figure this out like one at a time. Or you know what? She wouldn't be half bad for Skin Prophecy, actually, since she has Sound of Star. Because tools are equally as likely to melt down. Oh, I just realized something. I forgot to do something. Should we restart the day and make a nugget and put in a nugget just for Funeral of Butterflies? Or do we not care if he breaks out? Like, just on the off chance that someone hits him. Okay, cool. You guys sit the fuck still. I dislike all the people with low attachments in this area. Now, you might not be half bad for that. Adam, then. You have the highest attachment and the highest fortitude. You might be able to calm down PvP. Should it come to that. And then just send a random other person here for Butterfly. Okay, there's really no reason not to send everyone around here. Oh, that reminds me. Tatiana needs to grab the Heart of Aspiration. Just to have that confidence. Can a tool melt down if it's an equipable tool and someone grabs it? That's something I wonder, actually. Okay, everyone else just kind of, in that case, who could benefit? We don't know what can or can't be affected by speed boost, so I would say Delaney grab it just for the extra justice. Okay, this next bet's might be tricky. You're here for Judgment Bird. Snow White's apple can be... Who's the one I usually throw for that? Melendez, I think. And then I need someone with high-ish white resistance to grab Luminous Bracelet is also a thing we need to be concerned about. I'll throw a random agent up there for that. No. Little Prince is black damage, so Green Stem is fine for that. We can only hope it doesn't melt down too many times over the course of the day. Okay, Georgia, you just go over here for cleaning food. We have Gold Rush on. Is there somewhere better you can go? You know what? It might be better if you're the bee and Adam is the bee over here. You haven't even done anything yet, and I'm already stressed. Jesus. But it's crucial that everyone be in accord for what's ahead. Let's see, get the fuck back here. You need to be here for Blue Star. That is one person who cannot afford to melt down. We have a green stem person up here. Yeah. You come down here for Ian then. You know, Happy Teddy Bear would also be very bad if frequent meltdowns did it. Because then we have to keep track of who's worked on it or not. Okay, what else is in this area? Rose, you could do Burrowing Heaven. What's a weapon I would be okay-ish with losing? Potentially. Then yeah, if Old Faith and Promise melts down, then we'll just ignore it. We have a long day ahead of us. You, I'll throw down here for Yin. Okay, we do need someone to grab Match Girl, so that'll be you, Kalina. This is a very long day, so I don't imagine we'll have too much trouble. Okay. Sona, Big Bird duty. The Sihan, Music Box. The other two can just take the other two up here. The good news is that a lot of the people here aren't like the biggest issue. Okay, Art of Aspiration's equipped, so Lamarcus can stay there. Or maybe he can... No, he can stay there for now. Have I hit all departments at this point? Okay, anyone in Central Command that isn't here can go here, in the lower areas, just to be able to reach the hallways faster. Meanwhile, I now need to kill some clerks. But since I can't pause, I guess it's good that I cleared everyone from the main rooms. Okay, For the time being, we're gonna prioritize energy gain over anything else. Oh, you mean like this? Well, I guess the real thing we want to prioritize is moving the bar as much as possible. Oh, here's a fun fact. Well, fact, quote unquote, because I can't actually confirm it, but I saw some stuff around that is allegedly from documents about Lobotomy Corporation, and it turns out that Red Riding Hood and the wolf are allegories to two specific characters. Does anyone want to guess which two? Well, what's the obvious? Yes, aside from that, those two are allegories to two specific characters that already exist in this game. That is correct. That is what I saw the document allege. Which does make sense, since Red Riding Hood has the, well, red theme going on for them. And the big and black wolf is, like, more proactive, like Bina is. I mean, yeah, that too. The Grudge as well. Okay. If I do not need to move anything, I am keeping my left hand away from the keyboard. I do not trust myself for crap right now. I do not want to touch the King of Greed or... We won't worry about energy right now. Hang on, I need to make sure who are the ones you're talking about. Okay, Yang doesn't do anything. Okay, I get it. I don't feel like we need to worry about energy. So I'm just gonna throw a bunch of works just to move things along. How much does a midnight juice up? 50? Or 25? Fingers crossed we don't need to summon a rabbit then. Drink some soda, Everett. It'll quench you. Okay, I'm actually going to be down. Or what can I do that's safe? Okay, where? Oh, you were just saying that if Yin had. You were just saying if it was Yin, it had to be a 10. Okay. Okay. Let's just repeat that same exact thing. Okay, when in doubt, just repeat your works via the work log. That is what I have learned. Oh, hello there, Sakura. Not just any core suppression, this one! There's a non-zero chance we all die today. Okay, what's an attachment work do instead? Okay, normal does nothing, it looks like. It's just bad, that's the problem. So as long as Emma at least rolls normal, which feels probably guaranteed. Well, no pausing. Because if I pause, they either die or get thrown into a panic. Yeah. Now you might understand why I sound just a little on edge right now. And I'm not moving from this spot until midnight. Until we get the midnight ordeal. That is highly specific. Why a Hatsune Miku costume? concert. Somewhere remind me of the thought I had from earlier to help distract myself from this. Yes, if I try to adjust speed on my own, fun words cover the screen. But at least that's all it does, and it doesn't have as bad consequences as possible. Nope. Hokma controls time, that's why he's a clock. Oh yeah, I did have a thought, since today's core suppression is time-themed. It's a topic I've covered a couple times, and it's people that have time control powers. We will not lose anyone as long as the cycle repeats. Why are you trying to let us slip away? All of your loved ones are finally by your side now. I'm actually a pretty fast reader when I want to be. What else? If you mean mine, it's Tenko Chabashira from Danganronpa V3. Well, that's because you are right. This stream began 25 minutes ago. It was mainly prep work. It is currently 7:30 where I am, and since this may run for many hours, I'm going to try to not stay up too late. Okay, this is the point where I just started spamming everything else. Just not give a shit about who did what. Well, thank you for joining us. Please feel free to suggest any topics for us to chat over stuff with while I'm stuck in this long core suppression. Okay. Lots of people have lots of strong thoughts about her. Hang on, I'm going to trigger the ordeal and then I'll get back to what I'm saying. Please let no one spawn in this specific corridor. Okay, who's where? Letters, get out of my way. Any robot not currently being attended. You. Anywhere else? Anywhere at all. I legitimately can't tell. Someone attend to the bird in the meantime. Oh, there! Well, the good news is we beat it. The bad news is that the big birds are very close to busting out. The question is, will we have enough for later, is the problem. Okay, we'll handle those when they arrive. For now, let's just get to the day. And take this chance to slowly boost Big Bird back up to full. So right, my thought. One of my favorite cutscenes in recent Lobotomy company is when they did the Walpurgisnacht for Queen of Hatred, and Don Quixote just attached herself to the Queen of Hatred so fast. And Faust was apparently ready for this because Faust dragged away Don Quixote just as quickly. And Faust had like a literal laundry list of things that are bad about Queen of Hatred, so that the rest of the employees were under no illusions. Okay. We're already getting into a rhythm, which is good. Did I leave someone in the welfare elevator? I need to check that real quick. Okay, like a lot of these super long streams, when it reaches what I deem to be the halfway point, I'm going to pause and I'm going to take a break. Oh geez, Welfare got annihilated. Then how am I supposed to take a break? Well, if I need to take a breath, I can always hit escape if, like, I need to catch my breath during the course of this day. I mean, I think we hit escape just now, earlier, or something. Or did we? Well, anyways. Get Big Bird back up to 3. We need to make sure it doesn't escape at all today. If the worst happens and it does escape, I might evacuate everyone from safety and call in the rabbits. But hopefully it does not come to that. Now that I know that this is a strategy that works. Normally, we would pause and look around to see where the robots are, but we can't do that today. This really is a day that shows just how useful pause is. Okay, I think this is the point where I just start spamming. Believe it or not, I actually feel a lot better once I get into a routine like this. I'm gonna get up for a second. Okay. Everyone, okay, keep your eyes peeled. Okay, here's one. I think we'll just ignore it. That one I'll also just ignore. Where's the last one? Judgment Bird. Also, looks like we're getting a purple noon. Which honestly isn't the worst thing we could have gotten. We're gonna lose a small smidge of energy, but it's gonna be more than compensated. This is some very nice music. I wish I could appreciate it more and I wasn't so stressed. Hey Sona, you do that while I execute some training clerks. Only 3 or more. Honestly, if I may say so, I don't think we're doing too bad so far. In that case, if we're getting rid of all of them, I'll try some, well, get some multi-hit kills. Consider the psychology of how you can train an audience to be scared of something relatively mundane. Did you know that the Amazing Digital Circus just put up a trailer? Oh, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. Not just any door, the exit door, which we haven't seen since the very beginning of the show. And to have that just appear out of nowhere, it's kind of like, what are you? Why are you here? Also punishing Curtis loose. I'll be right back. My sister's kids are going back home for the day. Is all I'll say on that. I've had so many thoughts that I was halfway into saying that I just completely lost. Another Judgy Bird run. Why the hell not? Oh yeah, Volver, comenzar, to begin again. I think I mentioned a little bit that the song is about a man spinning hypotheticals of what he would do if he had a chance to do his life over, which feels very apropos for this core suppression and Hokma's character, but is especially apropos considering that Hokma right now is a clock that's going backwards. We've all had that thought at one point, what we would do if we could begin again. But for better or worse, we can't. We can't start over. We can only learn from our mistakes and keep marching. We're here to show Hokma that we need to march forward, but how much he's willing to listen, well, that's why we're here. Okay, so for the next core suppression, I need to mix someone up. And then once... Price of silence. I know. Alright, the other thought I had was about other characters, in particular villains, that had have time manipulating powers of some kind. And perhaps the most famous series to do this is hang on. What's next on my little list here? Okay, attachment with Big Bird we're skipping because we did that earlier. The pinnacle of this is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. The various final villains in JoJo have time manipulating powers of some kind, and it always makes the final confrontation both a matter of skill, but also trying to solve the puzzle of, okay, how do I approach this person that has control over such a powerful element? The example that most people think of when this topic comes up is the one, the only, except no substitutes, Dio Brando. If you've heard of anything about JoJo, it'll be that guy. I know Oxygen Not Included has a main plot. I just, it's been so long since I played that. But yeah. The Unbreakable stuff? Now that's curious. Okay, one more until the noon once I finish this. We need to shuffle everyone, and then we need to unshuffle them after. Actually, I want to get back to that, but first we have a noon to do. Actually, the damage only happens if they're in the same main room, right? So everyone should be safe right now. Well, everyone except Lamarcus can move easy enough. I need confirmation of this. Is everyone safe that's in the hallways? Okay, so how are we arranging this? The one problem I see is control, maybe, since those have a tendency to, yeah, go there. Okay, then first, now that everyone's grouped together, I'm going to move them one over to the left. There's a method to this madness, believe me. Okay, no pun intended. What I think I'm gonna do for right now is have everyone move counterclockwise. Or no, not counterclockwise, clockwise. So you people here move to safety. Safety crew, move to control. Control crew, move to training. And training, move down to central command. Oh right, we have a whole other ass central command we gotta do something with. Okay, you guys are information lower then. Bye. Bye. I wish I could fast forward right now. Okay, who's here right now? What crew is this? This is training. Okay, that's information. You guys are in Central Command. Okay, what did I do wrong that, What did I do wrong that, information upper's not filled up? Something went screwy here. I would say Pansy by herself could handle anyone, can handle a single one of them. since she has, like, the best white weapon. Okay, everyone at this point should be in a department that's not theirs. Very bottom. Middle bottom. Ding. That should be enough. Question mark. I'm kind of nervous to actually trigger it. Things could go very wrong if I'm not careful. Okay, I can't sit here all day. I need to get on with things. I knew they would land in a room that's not convenient to me. Because that's just always how it goes. Already dead. And super dead. Wow, that was fast. Big Bird lost 2 Clifoth from that, though. From information, I'm guessing. Oh, information and maybe also central a bit. Don't worry, I can patch that up soon enough. Do you remember where everyone was? 'Cause I sure don't. We are barely halfway through this core suppression. Oh, that is a bad thing to be unplugged. Okay, is everyone back to where they were? Rose, you were at Burrowing Heaven over here. Queen of Hatred is still doing fine, and we don't have to kill any clerks. It was Dia because black resistant armor. You know, for all the worries I had about pausing, I think I'm actually doing pretty good so far. That is the wrong corridor. Oh yeah, that 1 in 3 chance that we just lose, despite our best efforts. I won't lie, it would suck a lot to come that far and then just lose. Something that's only had to happen once before, but if it comes down to it, I could do a mad dash of selecting as many stuff as possible, assigning as many works as possible. If things look like they might be sticky. Because at the end of the day, what matters is that we win. Yeah, that could be something I do. But let's not consider that just yet. Let's get back to the day at large. Alright, I deliberately kept the team captain in here just in case. So, the thought I had before. There's a Stephen King story I once read about the Langoliers, or that's called the Langoliers. And the basic premise of the story is to explore flights that vanish. Because that is a thing that happens sometimes. Flights just disappear. And this story posits the idea that those flights that disappear actually travel back in time. But it's a very unique, if cynical, view of time travel. Where, to put it in the words of one of the characters, roughly paraphrased, the unglamorous truth of time travel, at least insofar as that book's universe was, is that you can't go back to watch the Declaration of Independence be signed or see the dinosaurs or something like that. Going back in time simply means going back to a period of time where everyone and everything has vanished. And everything feels used up, is the term they used. And one might be wondering, okay, that sucks, but is there any other issues? That's actually what I was going to get to. The titular Langoliers are a group of what's described as giant fuzzy black balls that eat everything. For lack of a better way to describe it, they eat the past to make way for tomorrow. And so what becomes the plot is are the people that were unlucky enough to go back finding a way of refueling the jet and finding the rip in time that took them there before the Langoliers catch up. Basically. That story always stuck with me for having a more unique take on time travel. Because time travel always involves, oh, you go back to change the past to fix something or prevent something from going bad. Like it always takes that kind of tone. I suppose if we're talking about time travel anyways, once you introduce the idea that you can go back and change the past, you need to put some kind of control on it. Otherwise, it'll make people wonder why all problems don't get solved with time travel. A particular example that is floating in my mind right now, because I've actually recently reread the book, is the third Harry Potter book, Prisoner of Azkaban. Even back when the book first released, this was something that was greatly discussed and debated. Because over the course of the book, or at the beginning of this third book, the smart character of the trio, Hermione Granger, is taking perhaps too many classes. So many classes, in fact, that some of them literally overlap with each other, and her other two friends are asking, her friends are asking, hey, what the hell? How are you keeping up with this? And she refuses to tell them. Although, when I say too many classes, it's because as the book goes on, it's clear that even someone as smart as her can only take so much work before she starts to crack up. But how she's making all the classes isn't revealed until towards the end, where through a variety of circumstances that would take too long to explain right now, our heroes are in a lot of trouble, and someone else they know is in a lot of trouble, but at the current point in time, no one can do anything to fix it. And local big good, Albus Dumbledore, tells Hermione, hey, that thing you have, use it, but be very careful about it. And what Hermione has is what's known as a time turtle. An hourglass that can make someone go back in time an hour for every turn. And Harry asks the logical question of, if you have this thing, why can't we prevent this bad chain of events from ever happening? And Hermione gives the usual bit about how bad it is for when, basically when two of the same person meet. And it's not like the universe explodes or something like that. The example that's given is more, hey, what would you think if an exact copy of yourself showed up? And Harry's like, I would think something bad was happening, and I might attack myself. So they can't use the time travel to fix too much. They can only arrange things in a specific manner so that an innocent man isn't executed. And it is very hotly debated. Yeah, stabilize a time loop. It is hotly debated if stabilizing the time loop was the only option, or if maybe something else couldn't have been done. Book 3 is pretty good. We hit the energy cap, so we don't have to worry about that anymore. If we ever did need to worry about that in the first place. That's a whole separate can of worms that, believe me, I myself am grappling with. But I feel like we can still discuss the books. Because I was actually going to go into a particular thing about it. Okay. Stop conversation for the second. We need to focus. Okay, bloodbath and crumbling armor. Who else? Who else? Why did I know this was gonna happen? That was 5, so we're missing 2 right now. Where are they? Oh, the machine. That's one of them, but I can ignore it. I think whatever that was got eaten. I think we're actually good. Because nothing's broken out. And the one on the you must be... And the one on you must be happy expired. That's stressful. Okay, we need to kill clerks. Where are we killing them from? Whoa. I'm sorry, but you have to die. I'll do that in a second, but I have clerks to kill. Where are we killing? I already did. Summer, do a round of Queenie, just to get the thing off. So, to wrap up the Harry Potter conversation a bit, I was saying earlier that it is important to notice flaws in things you love, or might have loved, as whatever the case may be. And the beginning of the 3rd book has one example where I, as an adult, look at it and I'm just gonna be like, wait, what is this? Because the beginning of the 3rd book, for reasons that are also too complicated to get into, Harry goes on the run. And he basically boards a giant bus of sorts that wizards use when they need it. And it kind of feels like with this bus, the world building began to suffer a bit. Because the whole gimmick about this bus is that it is as loud and conspicuous as is humanly possible. So of course our protagonist asks the follow-up question of how do non-magical people not notice this happening? And the answer given is because they never pay attention. And I'm sorry, that is just a crap explanation. Like I was just saying, it feels like it was going for quirky over coherent. And quirky can only carry you so far. But okay, that's all the Harry Potter talk I have that is as per relevant. Although speaking of cop-outs, Artemis Fowl. I largely enjoy the book series, but it also has flaws, and one such flaw I feel is a cop-out. So, one of the core premises of this book series is that there's a magical world of fairies, where fairies is like a catch-all name to describe several different species, but there's an underground race of fairies that hide from humans because they feel that humans will exploit and or eliminate them at the first opportunity, which, if fair, I guess. And one of the worst case scenarios that is always being prevented is like large scale, undeniable contact between humans and fairies. That's why they have the police force, and it's a plot our heroes stop a few times over the course of the series. But when it's the last book of the series, you want to go big. In this case, going big means... I already had Queen of Hatred work this cycle. In this case, going big has the main villain of the final book actually succeed where most other fairies fail. And cause a semi-apocalypse that, among other things, unmasks fairies to humanity. Now, we don't actually get too much of a look at what that fallout entails, because the book then focuses on the heroes stopping things from getting worse. But a big deal is made out of the fact that the cover is blown. People and fairies are meeting. Fast forward to the end of the book, and this is where the cop-out, at least what I feel is a cop-out, happens, because over the course of the book's epilogue, it says, incidentally, the fairies quietly pulled out, and the status quo was restored. And it's kind of like, how? The apocalypse was such a shaking event, I have a hard time imagining how the usual status quo got restored. It doesn't feel like it should be possible. After this stream, I may take a picture of the page in question and show it to you. Yeah, people did have to build their stuff back up. You are correct. That is a no. Although, hold that thought, we have meltdowns to look for. Or we're gonna have meltdowns to look for. Oh, hi! Paday's one of them. Of all the ones it had to hit, it had to be the two dangerous ones. Can you see any of the others? Okay, yeah, that's that one. That's Happy Teddy Bear. Queen Bee! Okay, Red Dust. Also a good work on the bee, so no worries there. Yeah, that was way too close on the bee. Meanwhile, speed! Also, we're at permanent 1.25 speed. Okay, so we're killing extraction clerks. It's just gonna be 3 for right now. I missed. I keep missing. Stop missing. There. Everything moving at 2 times 1.5 speed is kind of funny. Well, the good news is that this means that this part of the core suppression will go a little faster. Okay, for Crimson Dusk, my plan right now is to try and I feel like Paday is one that should be safe to break out. Night of Despair, no, but Paday is a Teth. It won't kill anyone. Should remember that for next time. What's my usual process here? God, that is some drastic time changes. Okay, so my plan for the Crimson Dusk is to try and see if I can't get someone with a mimicry suit to face off against it. I don't think the clown can kill anyone in a mimicry suit. And then we can decide what to do from there. It's not so much about not one-shotting them. That's kind of what I'm saying. That I want someone in mimicry specifically to stall the clown for a little bit while we take a breath and figure out what to do. How many of the dust clowns spawn? Lovely. The Dawn Clowns should hopefully not be too much of an issue because we've got... Okay. Need to start having people in corridors then. Make sure every corridor is at least somewhat covered. We need people to go down to records then because they could appear there. I'll say that'll be you two. Chill down here to make sure no clowns get any funny ideas. We'll do a sweep to make sure every corridor is covered. I said come down here. We'll do a sweep to make sure everything's covered before we trigger the dusk. Can we slow down time? No? I thought as much. That reminds me a bit of a gag from the Crap Guide to Final Fantasy, where when showing the bard, I said, "Work harder!" slams on piano. An allegory for what specifically? It feels like I missed something from my usual run. I think I missed Queen of Hatred, actually. Okay, I'm going to designate this the halfway point of the stream. I'm going to get up, stretch my legs, and when I come back, we prepare for the noon. I'm back. I wonder... Using mythical creatures as part of an allegory like that is kind of sticky. But okay. What do we do to prepare for this dusk? I'll just open up a random abnormality profile and do the quick check then. Okay, Jose, as Justita, probably not too much of a problem. Mimicry, the ideal encounter. Cobalt Scar, decent. Has some issues. This is control team, so they're up here. They're all in their own little corridors. Chloe, some red resistance, Volve level. Lesihon, the first with a red weakness. Something to watch out for. Misona, the other mimicry user, an ideal encounter. Cobalt Star. Second red weakness, a captain. Redstead, not the best red resistance. Hornet, Volve but kind of meh in all directions. Also Hornet. Also, we don't have someone in this corridor. We should probably fix that in a second. Heavy. Red weak. Is that where you want to put all the red weak people then? Since it's otherwise not being used. Volve level, but not the best red resistance. Decent red resistance, but he... Which elevator then? While I check over more people. London. Very good resistance. Also very good, the other Justine. Hornet, kind of meh. Gold Rush, pretty good. Sword Sharpened with Tears. Crimson Scar. Lamp. I meant to move someone downstairs just in case it clowns. Where the hell are they? This is a heaven, I believe. Basil has a heaven, so there's that. And you two, get the heck down there already. I swear to you, I am right-clicking. Why is this not working? You know what? If they're gonna be that stubborn about it, I'm gonna assign them work to the Naked Nest. And not actually complete the work, but cancel it just when they... No, wait, they'll just go back to where they were before. Well, I promise you, I am right-clicking. Oh, I think that did it that time. Yeah, they're on the move. Jesus. That took way longer than it should have. Okay, who's in this area? Spore, not Red Week. No one here is Red Week. They don't have the best red resistance, but they're not Red Weak. Okay, that's Evolve. What about over here? That's Lamp. And that's Greenstone. Also not Red Weak. I think that's a Heaven, though. Yeah, that's a Heaven. And then last but not least, Exuve, Gold Rush, and... Okay. I think I know what I'm gonna do now. The problem's gonna be remembering where everyone is after, so... I think we had two more up here. Yeah, two more Red Week in this corridor. I think that's all of them. And I think everyone is in a corridor. Oh my god. When you say upper corridor, do you mean these? Okay, that's Mary and Prince. Upper safety. Exuve and... Oh, you're a Discord. You're no good. Wow, we have a lot of Red Week stuff. Anything else? Well, for lack of anyone better to do it, you take us in. Oh, hi! The first one's right there. I think the first one died instantly because it ran into the wrong people. And now the second one's just kind of doing its thing. Also, despite all our best efforts, it's over. Okay. The good news is that one of the ones that spawned here where Misono and Doan were, so that's good. They basically exploded immediately. What do we do then? This run is hopeless now, but it's too late in the night to start another run. It's been 3 hours already. I guess because none of them reacted fast enough to actually attack it. That also tells us that our group of Red Weeks can survive a encounter. So, what's the strategy? Do we want to risk another round, another run, and stay up super late? It is mildly, like, disconcerting that it finally happened. Oh, I've already decided that. The real question is... It's kind of late at night to start another one. It just kind of sucks to do everything right and then fail because of something you can't control. But this is good. We did get a system going. Okay, let's talk about the good news while I pull up the ending screen. The good news is that once we had a system going, I managed to get through most of it without needing to pause at all. And now I know better for Green Dusk, for example. Okay, what I think I'm gonna do is make a special exception and make attempt 2 tomorrow. And if not tomorrow, then it's gonna have to be next week because I need to go to bed early on Sundays for work. But it can be done. I feel like this is what this stream showed us. Also, I did have an idea for a little bit of a cheat, but I'll keep it to myself until tomorrow's attempt. So, thank you for everyone that stuck around for this, and I'll see you all next week.